What's up, dudes? Spirit is sending a download. Somebody is having a complete collapse of false reality. So this might be somebody who has lost their religion. I hear that song by R.E.M. Cancer. And Pisces. Alright, Cancer and Pisces. This message is for you. Portals to the mind. Looking at you. So let's look back at it. So, somebody may have outgrown their religion. And they may feel very lost. So, we've talked about this before. Pep talk from Solar Goldie. You can feel really lost if you've had an awakening and you realize you've outgrown your religion. So it means all of a sudden, like, veils start getting removed, and it's like you can't ignore the insult to intelligence anymore. So it's all, it's coming through, and it came through before. It's all the people who were staunch pro-life people. I feel like there's a big bubble in my throat. There's a bunch of confused parochial people who are confused on what team they're actually batting for. They may just be regurgitating over and over what they've been indoctrinated to say and believe, that they're saving souls of little babies. And they consider a seed with a root out of it a full-blown peach tree. Now, I have channeled the soul enters the baby's body when it takes its first breath of the universe. But these people have decided who gets sovereignty over their own body or not. And they call themselves pro-life. What pro-life really means is forced birth. And if this makes you feel upset, if you identify as a pro-life person and you're like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, you're getting an aggro energy listening to me, it means you're not critically thinking. So what I'm saying is true, and let's just critically think it through. Because this is what happens when you have an awakening and veils get removed. So right now, we live in the United States of America, where we have freedom of religion. Freedom of religion means, okay, so also let's take it back to the survey that we referenced, maybe a year and a half ago, where it listed, it did an intensive study of all the states in the United States. If you want to say it kind of harsh, smartest to dumbest, the most educated. So, percentage of people that graduated high school, went on to higher education, learning, all that kind of stuff. Now we know going on to higher education doesn't automatically mean you're smart or not smart, because some people just jump into their career. So we were kind of like paying attention to high school graduation rates. How educated is the collective state? So there was 51, because they considered Washington, D.C. as a place too. Lock it in your head who you think, now we're going to say it kind of harsh, the dumbest and the second dumbest state in the United States is. You got who you think it is? I don't remember which one was number 51 and which one was number 50, but it was Texas and California. I bet that's not what you projected out. The least educated. Some of the most religious, though, yeah? So, in our Minnesota, where I come from, ranked number 9. We're highly educated here. Number 9 out of 51. I can't remember what number 1 was, like Vermont or something. So, listen up from number 9. I'm going to throw down some truth. In the United States of America, we have freedom of religion. That means I can be whatever religion I want to be. It can be a mainstream religion, a freaky-deaky religion, any kind of religion, a cult. It can be whatever. My neighbor can be whatever they want to be. And the government can't come after us. We can't get in trouble from the government for being our religion. There are other places in the world where it doesn't work like that. And so in the United States, we have freedom to be whatever religion we want to be. And we can't get in trouble from the government. Now, that's not the end of freedom of religion. Freedom of religion goes 2 ways. The other way is where freedom of religion, the of means from. I have freedom from religion. I have freedom of religion. So my neighbor can be his weirdo religion with weirdo rules, but I have freedom of religion. I don't need to live my life by my neighbor's weirdo religious rules. I have freedom of religion in the United States of America. I don't even have to be religious if I don't want to, because I have freedom of religion. It's a 2-way street. So we have a bunch of people who have decided that their religion trumps everybody else's religion. So now we're going to talk about religion and use the word club instead. That their club that we all have freedom from, and their club's bloated bobblehead of moral righteousness, has decided that all of us collectively have to live by their club's rules. Well, what does that mean? That means no exception for rape or incest. Their club says if your sweet daughter gets held down and raped by an icky pervert, she has no choice. We have several states in the United States of America that says no exception, no abortion exceptions. Your sweet daughter cannot get an abortion. She is now a mother of a rape baby. All her hopes and dreams are done. Her life doesn't matter. She does not have sovereignty over her own body. Why? Because their club says so. But our club doesn't say that. The rest of everybody, well, they don't care. But we have freedom from your club. They don't care. They say so. Well, that doesn't sound fair now, does it? What if we don't want our daughters, our mothers, our sisters, our grandmas, our aunts to have to be forced to grow a rape baby? Or take it even one step further, which they do. No exception for incest. What is wrong with your club's rules? Well, they have decided that seed with a little root coming out of it is a full-blown peach tree. And they decide what's going to happen to the soul of that peach tree. Why? Because they say so. Their bloated bobbleheads of moral righteousness say so. Yeah, it's pretty buffoony. And some people who are part of pro-life, which is a kind way to say forced birth, they are part of the forced birth club, will absolve themselves. They will say, Well, I think there should be an exception for rape or incest. Yeah, well, now you're just a hypocrite. Either the babies are little souls or they're not. Because if you say that, if you say, I have an empathetic cord, and I think there should be an exception for rape or incest, you are not pro-life. You are a bloated bobblehead of moral righteousness that is deciding who gets to do what. Why? Because you say so. But you can't have it both ways, forced birther. So there's a bunch of people, especially parochial people, private school people, religious people, who grew up just regurgitating, not really thinking it through. It's called religious indoctrination. They're very confused on what team they're on. It's very black or white. They're all little souls in there, no matter how they got in there, and have to be forced to be born. Or the woman, no matter if it's a night of passion or a violent act, gets to decide what happens over the sovereignty over her own body. Pick a team. There's a lot of confused people who are actually pro-choice who wouldn't have an abortion themselves. If you have ever said, I think there should be an exception for rape or incest, you are not pro-life. You are not forced birth. You are pro-choice who wouldn't have an abortion. It's either all or nothing. You don't get to absolve yourself and suck your own ego dick and decide who gets absolved and who doesn't. No, that's just big attention grabs. It's earning brownie points with God in your own mind. While forcing oppression, your team, whether you say well, I'm pro-life, but I do think there should be an exception for rape or incest. Yeah, well, your team doesn't. Why are you on that team? The other team says there should be an exception for rape or incest. Yeah, go over on the right team and just not have an abortion yourself. And quit forcing people to have babies. Quit forcing them to grow babies that you will cut off the Head Start, the welfare, the everything. You force them to have it over your own bloated bobblehead of moral righteousness. So let's take it even one step further. Well, I think there should be an exception for rape or incest. Oh, but the sluts should have kept their legs closed and they need to be punished, right? Bloated bobblehead of moral righteousness. Ooh, checkmate. Yeah, death of the ego, collapse of false reality. Pick a team. Because it looks really buffooning. That's religious indoctrination. And spirit, when you have a spiritual awakening, spirit will remove a veil. And then you can't ignore the insult to intelligence anymore. And you may get mad. You may lose your identity. You may see yourself racking up karma because you're being willfully oblivious to the insult to intelligence. You're being called to higher thinking. It can be very, very scary. So if that is happening, I do have a message that says, oh my God, have I lost my religion? Have I outgrown my religion? And I'm going to link that message in the comment section here of this message. And there's a picture of a train that explains it. And Spirit really wants you to watch what you're being called for. Does it mean you have to give up your religion? Not at all. Every religion has beautiful, beautiful parts of it. You do not have to give up your religion. You're being called to practice the highest vibration of your religion. You have been practicing a lower vibrational religion called the stuck-up lunch table, bloated bobblehead of moral righteousness. Thinking you're earning brownie points with God. But you're not. And God, spirit, source, your ancestors, the force, aliens, whatever you call it, I call it all of the above, has had you start expanding your consciousness, your mind, to break through these confines of a religious oppression, to also set you free. So there's the message. And if you feel scared, because that can be a complete collapse of identity. If you feel scared, just know you don't need to give up your religion. You have to work hard at practicing the highest vibration of it. Which every religion's highest vibration is very inclusive. Never forget that. All right, there's the message.